Earth's oceans are dying, experts warn. Mass extinctions of species and the world's oceans are inevitable if current trends of overfishing, habitat loss, global warming or climate change, and pollution continue. A panel of renowned marine scientists have now warned. The combination of problems suggests there's a brewing worldwide die-off of species that would rival or exceed past mass extinctions. The 27 scientists said in a preliminary report presented to the United Nations. Vanishing species, from sea turtles to coral, would upend the ocean's ecosystem. Fish are the main source of protein for a fifth of the world's population, and the seas cycle oxygen and help absorb carbon dioxide, the main greenhouse gas from human activities. Things seem to be going wrong on several different levels, said Carl London, Director of Global Marine Programs at the International Union for Conservation of Nature, which helped produce the report with the International Program on the State of the Ocean. Some of the changes affecting the world's seas, which have been warned about individually in the past, are happening much faster than the worst-case scenarios that were predicted just a few years ago, the report said. It was a more dire report than any of us thought because we look at our own little issues, London said. When you put them all together, it's a pretty bleak situation. Again, in other words, the world's oceans are beginning to die. Coral deaths alone would be considered a mass extinction, according to study chief author Alex Rogers of the University of Oxford. A single bleaching event in 1998 killed 1/6 of the world's tropical coral reefs. London pointed to deaths of 1,000-year-old coral in the Indian Ocean and called it really unprecedented. Not only are we already experiencing severe declines in many species to the point of commercial extinction in some cases, and an unparalleled rate of regional extinctions of habitat types, mangroves, and seagrass meadows, but we now face losing marine species and entire marine ecosystems, such as coral reefs, within a single generation, if not before, the experts said. The chief causes for extinctions at the moment are overfishing and habitat loss, but global warming, or climate change, is increasingly adding to this, the report said. Carbon dioxide from the burning of fossil fuels ends up sinking in the oceans, which then become more acidic, devastating sensitive coral reefs. Warmer ocean temperatures also are shifting species from their normal habitats. Non-native species moving into new areas can cause havoc to those ecosystems. The world's oceans face a deadly trio of threats of higher temperatures, acidification, and lack of oxygen that had featured in several past mass extinctions. Runoff from fertilizers into rivers and seas has reduced oxygen in those areas, creating dozens of dead zones around the globe. The U.S. Geological Survey earlier this month said it expects the dead zone from the Mississippi River to set a record when it builds later this summer due to flooding runoff. From a geological point of view, mass extinctions happen overnight, but on human timescales, we may not realize that we are in the middle of such an event. Chemicals and plastics from daily life also are causing problems for sea creatures, the report said. Overall, the world's oceans just cannot bounce back from problems, such as oil spills like they used to because of all the compounding factors, scientists said. In other words, it's a combination of things that are causing the world's oceans to begin to die. The Gulf of Mexico has bounced back somewhat from last year's major oil spill, but it is still dealing with the growing dead zone and above average sea temperatures. And the Deepwater Horizon oil spill was another warning. Describing the multiple events affecting the world's oceans as high-intensity stressors, the experts said Similar compounding led to the previous 5 mass extinction events in the past 600 million years, most recently when the dinosaurs vanished 65 million years ago, apparently after an asteroid struck. But this time, the mass extinctions are human-caused, like the huge Wallow wildfire in Arizona, which was human-caused. Human-caused all the way around. The conclusions follow an international meeting this spring in England to discuss the fate of the world's oceans. A full report will be published later this year, the panel said. London said that some of these things are reversible if we change our behavior. For example, overfishing is the easiest for governments to address, the experts said. Yes, you have to start somewhere, but you do have to start, and quickly or rapidly. This too is another physical manifestation of the book of Revelation. It's about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations, and that should be a very important question. And this is another sign of the end times, transition days, which is a continuing day-by-day process of extraordinary changes, happenings, and events, which are increasing in frequency. Again, Revelation chapter 8, verse 6, and the 7 angels, which had the 7 trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became as blood. 9. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. 10. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. 11. And the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many humans died of the waters, because they were made bitter. 12. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels, which are yet to sound. It's time for all prophecy to be fulfilled. These things are preordained. It's also called fate or destiny. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. I tell the truth. Watch the weather changes. The tipping points and limits are being reached.